What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Substitute Preacher Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Johnson, aka the Substitute Preacher. Right now, you're listening to a new song. I normally play Rise by Triay. With this being a special series titled The Grind, it was funny because my brother-in-law, Austin, he's a song artist, and he came out with a song that was really fitting with just kind of what we're talking about. And so I asked him, and he was excited. So that's the song. It's called Keep On Pushing. His rap name is Triay. You'll see it on the screen. It's Triay. It's his Instagram, so you can hear more projects and stuff he got coming up on that. Give him a follow. Really good song. Here's my guest. So I'd like to introduce Roman Cerna. So we met a couple years ago, and I actually trained him. He's one of the athletes I trained for a few years. I'm really impressed with him just as a young man coming to his own. He's now a senior in high school, which is crazy. Time flies. But yeah, you were actually, I don't know if you know this, you were the first kid I trained specifically for football, like as a linebacker.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so cool. And I've worked with groups of kids for football, but like specifically linebacker training, you were the first one.
Nice.
And your mom reached out to me, and I was like, oh, cool. I know I had sent out flyers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was you and Emmanuel.
E-Man.
Yeah, we was getting it popping off. So, yeah, if you want to just kind of talk about that experience and just the growth you had over the years, I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah, well, when I met Coach Isaiah, I believe it was my sophomore year, my mom was scrolling on Facebook, and I just finished, it was our COVID season, so we played, and I want to say it was around this time, this time, and it was my freshman year, it was my first time playing football, so I had a rough season, you know what I mean, which I expected, going into a new sport with a whole bunch of guys that, that have been playing their whole life,
Yep.
It was going to be difficult, and at that time I was 180 pounds, playing D-end and left guard. And, my mom saw this flyer, and she's like, well, if you want to start competing for those starting spots, we should probably get some personal training. And my dad was up to do it, and I was like, you know what, I'm up for it. And that's when we met Isaiah here, and, it was one of the best choices I made. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have made it as far as I did in my small high school career if I never started training with Coach. So we started, it was my sophomore year, and we began the grind, and it was a great experience. I mean, from all areas, not even just as an athlete, but as a person, Coach taught me a lot. And the thing I remember specifically is my footwork. When I was young, I mean, I'd be running around playing soccer, tripping over my own feet and stuff, and I remember Coach came with all these workouts, and slowly but surely, that speed was picking up. The footwork was looking nice, and now, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty confident in my footwork, you know what I mean, and my speed. And so, it was a great 3 years training with Coach, and he helped me in football, but not even just that, just an all-around athlete in person. So, it was a great experience,
Yeah, and likewise, for me too, it was great being on that journey with you, and ton of improvement. Like, you really attacked it, you were all about the grind, and you put in the work, and you've seen it translate on the field, which was really a joy for me to see. So in kind of coming to that decision with your parents, like, yeah, I'm going to train and put in some extra work. Not many people do that, especially someone newer to football, like, unless they're like all about it.
Yeah.
What was your goal? What were you looking to get out of it, short term and then even long term?
Yeah. Well, at the time, I always wanted to play football, but my parents, they were always, I'm not trying to stereotype here or nothing, but, we're a Mexican family. We were all about soccer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, football.
And, real football, right?
Yeah.
And, my older brother, great soccer player. Me, not so much. I wanted to hit people, man. You know what I mean? I wanted to get in there. I wanted to be physical. And, my parents finally, high school year, they let me play my freshman year. And, I didn't do too great, like I said. And so they asked me if I wanted to do that. And, me, I was always all about getting better. And I originally joined football. I wanted to play, but I also wanted to cut off that extra chub that I had. You know what I mean? Okay. I was a chubby little guy going into high school. But yeah, man, I mean, my goal was just to get that starting spot. That was always what I was chasing, you know what I mean? And it was just the start of that goal, you know? Wasn't looking at the next level quite yet, you know what I mean? It's something I've thought about now, but back then, you know, it was just improving, you know, and not even just around just the people around me, but I think improving myself, you know, just being quicker than I was yesterday, being stronger than I was yesterday, you know, every rep, just chasing, getting better, getting better. So, you know, my parents hit me with the opportunity because luckily we're blessed enough to, you know, even conversate that because I know a lot of people, as much as they would want to get that training, you know, maybe they can't. And luckily, you know, Coach, you always made it like, so it was easy to get that opportunity. You know, you always worked with us, you know, and I'm extremely thankful for that. And, but yeah, I mean, I was like, you know what, let's do it. You know, if I want to meet this goal and really want to be on that field, you know, being a part of that team, it's going to take that extra work. Because I always use this example. I know, you know, if you're just practicing with the people on your team, you know, everyone's just moving like this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But if you're down here and they're up here and you're just moving like this, that gap's going to stay the same. So I always say, you know, you want to get up here, you got to go like this, then you're going to get a little higher, and then go like that, and eventually you're going to meet or even surpass that. So yeah, that was, you know, looking into that training, you know, it was just, let's just chase getting better and working towards that goal of getting that starting spot. Yeah.
Most definitely. And by the end of it, I mean, I know this summer we put in a lot of work going into your senior season, and you also put on a lot of weight. You were doing some weightlifting with another trainer, nutrition type stuff with your eating. And so it was really cool to see.
Yes, sir.
One thing, I've heard this quote a few times, most recently by Desmond Bishop, played in the league for years. I have the opportunity, and I've been fortunate to be able to coach with him. He coaches at my school. He says, how you do something is how you do everything.
That's good.
So even though you weren't necessarily trying to go to the league like some people, or, you know, maybe even college. I know maybe you might have entertained it a little bit, but it was just about, all right, I'm doing this, I'm playing this sport, I want to start, I want to be the best I can.
Yes, sir.
So that's really cool. I bring that up because, especially, I know you just kind of finished wrestling and everything, but you had a lot on your plate. And I'm just going to list off a couple of things. Let me know if I'm missing anything. So you do photography.
Yes, sir.
Kind of recently started that, which I'm really impressed with, and we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. Photography. You did, right after football, you got into wrestling. You were doing wrestling. You've been doing that for a few years now. So, and that's in the same season. So you're literally taking pictures of wrestling and wrestling.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It reminds me of Peter Parker. He's taking pictures of himself as Spider-Man. He's doing it all. So that's pretty cool. But aside from that, you're really involved with church. Your family plays, you know, instruments at church. You guys have your own band, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
That you guys do events and stuff with, which is great. That's a lot. And on top of that, we'll talk about your grades shortly, but you're a really great student and you keep up with your grades. Out of all those things, what would you say is the most fun for you?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, I'll have a lot of fun doing them all, but I think I'd have to say the athletics, man. You know, going out there every day and just pushing yourself to a new level, you know, and constantly improving with peers around you that, you know, want the same goal. I think it has to be what's been, you know, driving me for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Now, what would you say is the most difficult?
The most difficult might have to come back to the athletics. Yeah, you know,
That's
it's yep, every day pushing yourself, and but I have fun doing it and seeing the improvement. So yeah.
Nah, that's awesome. And again, just in having this conversation of the grind, like, what would you say that means to you? How would you kind of define the grind and hard work in general?
Yeah, the grind, man. It's something I've been dealing with the past, you know, I'd say 4 years, you know. Like I said, I've always been in the room, and I've always been aware that I'm not the most talented. I mean, I've had coaches tell me, you know, you're not the most athletic, but what has gone you this far is your work ethic.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I came to a realization with that, you know what I mean? I remember one of your past podcasts, you were talking about how there was a range of an athlete. You know, I think it was like 1 through 5, and you were saying, like, you know, there's some guys like the LeBron James that you said that, you know, they're that 5, that they got that athleticism, and then they get a little bit of work ethic in there, and they're, you know, beasts. But there's also those guys that have that athleticism, but they just don't put in the work, and they don't reach their full potential.
Exactly.
So I was one of those guys that, you know, I realized that, you know, we're in the lower end of the scale here. You know what I mean? So you know, I knew I was gonna have to, you know, use that work ethic, and luckily, you know, I thank God for blessing me with that work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, man, the grind is something that I've had experience with, and to me, I think it is just when I think of the grind, I think of discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Discipline is something that you use in not even just in sports, but in everything. You need discipline. I mean,
Absolutely.
doing things like brushing your teeth in the morning, that's discipline. You know, it's just little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's just, doing things when you don't even feel like it sometimes. You know what I mean? You don't feel like going to practice, but you know it's the right thing to do. You know it's going to help you meet your goals.
Mm-hmm.
So you go do it, as discipline. And
Yep.
the grind, I think, is just, that's just a huge part of it. Just working, just without looking at the clock. So the grind to me is just working hard every day, just with you don't know where it's gonna take you, you know what I mean? But you're still pushing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it could take. You don't know how long it's gonna take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The success can come in 5 minutes or it can come in 10 years. You don't know, but I think discipline and the grind is just no matter how long it's gonna take, even though you don't know, you're still gonna push 100%.
Yeah.
And push past that and just work. Like it's gonna come in 5 minutes, but it might be 10 years, and you're just gonna keep on working with the same effort, no matter what. So I think that's what the grind is, and that's what it comes back to. You know what I mean? Just being able to just keep on going, even when you don't feel like it. So yeah.
I like that. Yeah, it's work like you're gonna get it in 5 minutes, and it may be 5 years. That's that's facts. And kind of going back to the quote I said, like the way you do something is how you do everything.
Yes, sir.
It's that approach. And I talked about this the last episode. Well, I guess 2 episodes ago. But in my discovery of kind of learning the grind, I realized that okay, if I put in this work, the same way I work for football, I started noticing it became a trend in other aspects of my life. And then now as an adult, like I take pride in just being a hard worker professionally at work and as a father and in other aspects of my life. So
Sure.
I know it's going to be the same for you once you kind of finish with school and get on to your next ventures. So I'm excited to see it. You're going to do great things.
Thank you.
How have you learned to, because like we said, you're doing a lot at the same time. You have full weeks and busy. I'm sure you're tired all the time. How have you learned to manage everything?
Yeah, I think management is huge because on top of that, all these things like we mentioned, faith, is important, and even family, you know what I mean. So I think it's just the right amount of everything, and it's tricky, and sometimes you do gotta prioritize certain things.
Yep.
But yeah, for me, it's just prioritizing what's needed at the time. There's times where I'm prioritizing school a little bit more. During my seasons, I prioritize athletics a little bit more. Church, it's just all about choosing, but also just not wasting time. I think time is a valuable thing, and a lot of times, everyone, they can't do something, they go back to, I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
Well, we all have the same amount of time, you know what I mean? I think it's just managing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes back to just, you can't spend all that time scrolling. These days, everyone gets caught up. I think we're all guilty of it, you know what I mean? Get caught scrolling, next thing you know, check the time, it's 2, next thing you know, it's 2:30, and you feel like it's been 5 minutes, right?
Sure.
So it's just managing your time in a manner where you're getting the best use of it. You're getting the value's worth of it. So,
Definitely.
yeah, for me, it's just been, prioritizing stuff when it needs to be prioritized, but it's been tricky, you know what I mean? But I think it's something that I've gotten pretty good at over the years.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. My wife must have slipped you some notes or something about the scrolling, because I do it. I'm a busy man. I'm a hard worker, but sometimes like you said, 3-4 minutes it feels like, and I look and 20-30 minutes went by, like wasted time. So
we're all guilty of it.
Good stuff. So me, I feel like I'm doing a disservice as a coach, as a mentor, a leader to the people I'm training, especially the kids, if I train them and they have bad grades. And even as a football coach, I can't control everything. It's not always up to me, but a lot of the kids, they're struggling in school and they want to play, and I'm like, nah, like you said, prioritize. Figure out your grades and then come see me.
There you go.
So especially professionally as a trainer, you better be buttoned up, you better have your grades right. Take care of your things at home. If a parent comes to me and, hey, they're not cleaning around the house or they're not taking care of their siblings, all right, we ain't going to train. We'll take a break. Figure that out.
Yep.
With you, that was one thing I never had to worry about. So what is your GPA? I asked you before because I know what it was. I figured it would still be the same. So I asked you before the interview, but tell everybody about your GPA.
Yeah, I've been holding a 4.0 GPA right now.
Woo!
And but I'm not gonna lie to you, it wasn't always like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, good.
So I've held it the past 3 years.
Wow.
But that freshman year, it definitely took a toll on me. So grades never been a problem. Luckily, I've been focused in school. I mean, throughout elementary, throughout middle school. But my freshman year, COVID year, it took a toll on me. It came to the point where it wasn't even looking like I was going to be eligible for football. To be honest with you.
Jeez.
Yeah, they had the conversation with the guys. He said, "These guys, get over here, and blah blah, Jimmy, John, and Roman Cerna, there it was." And they called me to that group, and I was like, "Oh man!" And they're like, "Hey guys, you guys can't play this season. You guys aren't eligible."
Wow.
And it was the COVID year, man. We've been training since the August of before. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we're working, and dude, the season kept on getting delayed. And finally, we were about to play our 4 games because that's all we had. It was 4 games. And but they told me I wasn't eligible, and it hurt. It really did. And after all that hard work, you know what I mean? And but then I got my report card, and it said 2.13, and I just made it. I said, "Coach, look," and he's like, "Yeah, Roman, you're eligible, man. I don't know. Here's your jersey." And but yeah, that year was hard. My parents, they'd come to me like, "Hey, what's going on? We know you. This isn't you." There was a moment where I tried, but it was just too late. But going into that sophomore year, I knew this needs to. I need to make a change. You know what I mean? I was like, I want to come to these classes and see all the teachers look on their face when they're like, "Whoa, this is the guy that was failing my class. They got an A+." So yeah, I mean, I think for me, I don't think it was like I knew I had what it took to keep a 4.0 GPA that freshman year, but for me, learning through online and just staying focused, it couldn't click for me. Mm-hmm. So, but it was hard to come back and make a flip it around. But I made it a goal for myself. I said I want to come back and straight A's. That was the standard. And I think it comes down to that a lot of the times, it's setting the standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was my standard, was 4.0. I don't want nothing less. A's and B's, yeah, it's great. But no, I wanted to shoot for the top. And I've been successful these past 3 years. So yes, it's my sophomore year, 4.0 throughout the whole year. Junior year, 4.0 throughout the whole year. And this year I'm going strong with a 4.0. Wow. So it's looking like I'm going to finish up with it. So yeah man, it's been good.
I love what you said as far as just your motivation. Like you said, it wasn't about football. It was about knowing when it comes to school, I'm better than this. I want to prove my teachers wrong. Yeah, I may have kind of failed them, or I didn't live up to the standard that I normally live up to. Mm-hmm. And so now I want to prove them wrong and see the smiles on their faces. Like that's beautiful. That's awesome. So many kids, and it's funny because I deal with a lot of freshmen, especially recently. I've been doing freshman PE. So I'm dealing with all these freshmen, cutting class, not caring. And some of them I talk to, and it's like, "Oh, well, I'll figure it out later." Or, "Oh, next year I'll try harder." But it's not always like that. And like you said, if you can put those habits into practice now, you'll see the fruits of it later, and it'll kind of carry over. So you kind of answered this a little bit. Go back to freshman year just in its entirety. What was Roman like as a freshman?
Roman as a freshman, man. Yeah, like I said, 180-pound chubster. You know what I mean? I was into video games, man. Not gonna lie. Call of Duty Warzone, it was popping at that time, and wasn't doing good in the grades, but I'm gonna tell you, on that game I was dropping 20 bombs left and right. You know what I mean? I think it was just I was just slipping. You know what I mean? COVID first happened, and everyone's like, "Yo, no school." You know what I mean? Like this nothing like this has ever happened. You know what I mean? No school. Felt like you didn't have to do nothing. I remember I would go in, join my classes, go back to sleep.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And it came to a point, where when they were telling me I couldn't play football, I was like, all right, it's time to do this. I had algebra first period. I turned it on. I'm like, let's do this. And I'm there, and I'm looking at the screen. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I do not know one thing I'm looking at. And I used to be the guy that was the best in math in my class. You know what I mean? And you know how math is. You can't just miss a week and come back and top right on.
That's
you
learn
something.
Subject.
Yeah, and it connects. It all connects.
Yep.
And that's when I realized, like, man, this is gonna be hard to come back from.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, me my freshman year, I think I was definitely a little bit undisciplined. Young. I think it has a lot to do with that. Not as mature.
It's normal.
And at that time, I was still doing my thing in church. You know what I mean? You know, I wasn't doing nothing bad or nothing. It was just I just wasn't getting it done. I was being lazy. Straight up, I was being lazy. There were some kids. Everyone was online, and they kept their 4.0. So no excuses. I think for me too, was cheating was super easy. And honestly, I'm not saying to go cheat, but I should have. I mean, if it was that easy, I should have cheated. But for me, I was like, it was like, nah, don't cheat. That's wrong. You know, so I wouldn't cheat. But it's like it's also wrong to get Fs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, it was hard because I remember like that I didn't want to cheat. And I didn't cheat, you know what I mean? But then I look back at it and it's like, well, it sucked because you didn't cheat, but you didn't do the work either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it had a little bit to do with that too. But, man, it hurts because, I mean, I see it now. You know, back then, yeah, I think about COVID year. Oh, yeah, I was having a blast on the game with my buddies. Mm-hmm. But then I look at it now and I look at my weighted GPA is in a 4.0. You know what I mean? It's a
I was going to bring that up.
3.65, 3.7. And I look at the big schools and I'm like, man, if I would have, you know, sharpened up and tightened up that freshman year, I could have been going to some bigger schools. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, you know, like they say, put in the work now, and you're going to see the result later. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, have fun now and work later, or work now and have fun later.
You got it.
So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you got to think about that. You know what I mean? Because it came back and it bit me.
What about, and it's probably, I guess that year it was almost not applicable because and I don't even really know how it worked, but so for COVID year everything was on Zoom, right? All your classes.
Yeah.
So the class is there, you could see the other students, but you're not with anyone, right?
You're not with anybody, and most of my classes didn't even require the cameras. Actually, I remember that.
Okay. Wow.
I was one of the only students. They would be like, guys, turn on your cameras.
Yeah.
And everyone would ignore them. But I'm like, I'm turning on my camera, whatever. So I would turn it on and just be there. But I mean, I'm talking like one to three people right there would turn on their cameras. So the teachers would just give up. They'd be like, man, forget it. These kids aren't going to turn on their cameras.
Man.
Yeah.
And I'm, because I was looking at it both ways, both perspectives. As a teacher, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like it would, I'd get too frustrated and it's like you're talking to the wall. Yeah, but as a student, I don't think I would have been successful in that environment either.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I wouldn't get dressed. I'd be in pajamas, and yeah, I wouldn't turn my camera on. So that's really tough.
And
go ahead.
I also see how that year affected. I mean, just the youth in general, man. I mean, I feel like back then before COVID, you know, you'd get the kids in trouble for talking. You know what I mean? You guys are talking too much.
Yeah.
And I feel like now, I mean, the teachers are begging us to talk. They're like, hey, come on, guys, you know, talk with each other. And I mean, I'm a social guy, you know. If they tell me to talk with my partner, I'm going to turn around and talk with my partner, you know what I mean? But there's times where the partner's just there like, they don't want to talk. And it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. Back then, everybody wanted to talk to each other. Everyone wanted to be joking around. And now it's hard to get people to talk. You know, you see more people that are socially awkward.
Yep.
They get anxiety when they're around people. And I think that year has a lot to do with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I was going to kind of ask you, socially, what were you like? And you kind of mentioned it, like you're more outgoing and extroverted, I would say. So going into sophomore year, you changed your habits in terms of your grades. What about just that transition into actually getting to go to school? How was that for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to lie. That sophomore year, it felt great because when I started playing football, end of my freshman year, and I started hitting the weights. I started eating right. I shedded off that chub. So man, going into sophomore year, I felt good. I was like, I probably weighed around 150 pounds, which sounds super light, but like as a kid, you know, I felt good, man. That was the skinniest I ever been. My confidence, you know, I felt good because, you know, before I was something I always had trouble with. I mean, I was a chubby guy, you know, I was a little bit insecure, you know what I mean, and. But man, that sophomore year, I felt good, man. I felt good. And going into the school year, you know, with that goal about the grades and everything, you know, I went in there and I killed it. I feel like I killed it, you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, it was a fun year. And that transition, I mean, for me, it wasn't too bad. You know, I went in there, I was excited. I always liked, I was never like a school hater. You know, a lot of people, school's just not for them and they hate school. And but for me, I always had fun in school, you know what I mean? I like talking with people. Yeah. And even learning, you know, I have a good time doing it. So the transition, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, it was a little weird, especially because you got to think about it. That was basically my first year in high school. Yeah. So a lot of the kids I did not know at all. So there's a lot of meeting new people and all that. We're all masked up,
Mm-hmm.
and but the transition wasn't too challenging for me. Like I said, it helped that I just made a good transition with my body and stuff,
Yeah.
so I felt good going into that school year, and yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Nice. Athletics aside, all the other extracurriculars, just looking at school in general, would you say, I know, well, I guess two parts to this. Is school hard or difficult to you? Just your perspective. And then talk about getting and maintaining 4.0, how challenging that might be, or how easy.
Yeah, I mean, school, it's something for me that it has to be done, and I think it is I don't completely just get everything off the snap. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
it's just how I handle stuff. Like there's times I don't get something. There's lots of times where I don't get. They teach you something and I don't get it, but that you're gonna catch me in that teacher's classroom the next morning, bright and early, getting that help. You know what I mean? And it's like even that COVID year, that was something you didn't have. You had to go email the teacher or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for me, I mean, I think I definitely got blessed with the fact that I'm able to pick up stuff pretty quick. You know what I mean? I think it is definitely more challenging for others. So luckily, I'm blessed in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just the way I handle stuff. Just getting extra help when you need it, not being afraid to ask. They say there's no such thing as a stupid question, and I take that serious. There's times I ask questions, and everyone's like, "Really, dude?" But I'm like, I wanted to be clear on it. You know what I mean? So just little things like that, and just maintaining the 4.0 GPA is just, again, back to prioritizing, certain things. You know what I mean? There's times where I would go practice, football or wrestling, and then I'd go straight to church practice because I play for my worship team, right? So a lot of times we'd be getting out of there, 9 p.m. and I'm tired, I'm hungry, and but I know I can't go to sleep with that assignment due. So go in there and get it done. And so I think it's back to the discipline thing. It comes back to that, doing what you need to do because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think it's easy. It's not easy because if it was easy, everyone would do it. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily, but yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't. I think at least getting a 2.0 is pretty easy, and I think it just requires effort for you students out there. But you have kids with 0.0 GPAs, so
I agree with that for sure. Yeah. I think it is effort, 100% effort. Yeah. I mean, I don't think.
What percentage would you say? And getting a 4.0 is effort versus actually being intelligent.
I think the effort overpowers the intelligence. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, a lot of things you're doing it with the class. You know what I mean? Like it's just simply paying attention, engaging, putting that phone down, which a lot of people have trouble with. You look around in the classroom these days. There's at least 4 to 7 people on their phones.
Yeah.
So it's just it's getting that mental control and putting that phone down and focusing. I think it is a lot of effort. A lot of effort. You know what I mean? The assignments they're putting out. I mean, for me, I've took most CP classes. You know what I mean? So I know AP classes. I've took a couple AP classes, and yeah, the gap's there. You know what I mean? It's harder, but for the average student in a CP class, they can get that 4.0 if they really try to. And I mean, I think getting that extra help is a part of the effort. You know what I mean? Just putting in the effort to get that 4.0 GPA. I truly believe if you want to get it, you can get it. The intelligence, it helps 100%, but it's effort. Yeah.
Yeah. For the kids listening or students, like you said, you go the extra mile, get the help you need, ask teachers. Has a teacher ever shut that down and said, "Roman, get out. I'm not trying to help you"?
Luckily no. But I mean, that's common. You know what I mean? You see that. For me, luckily, I've been blessed with some good teachers that are always willing to help. There is times where they're like, come see me in the morning, or come see me at lunch, or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I mean, luckily there hasn't been a teacher that's completely shut it off. And if there was, there's always another teacher willing to help. And I think we're blessed for teachers like that because they don't have to do that. You know what I mean? They could really shut you down, and at the end of the day, their paycheck is the same.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but luckily, my teachers have always offered the help, and but a lot of people don't take it. I think we just need to open our eyes and look around because a lot of people offer the help, but they don't want to take it. So, and they take it for granted because there are those people that want the help and they can't get it. So yeah.
For sure. And yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I work with teachers. I am a teacher myself, kind of.
You are.
But yeah, and at least for me, I do PE. I'm a sub. Like no one's gonna come after school and ask, "Hey, coach, how do I, how do I run my mile faster?" Like it's not that big a deal. But yeah, math, science, like the teachers I know and have been around, like they're willing to help, and that's what they're there for, and they want to see you kids succeed. So to just, and I know sometimes it takes getting out of your comfort zone, or maybe you feel like, oh, if I ask, like you said, there's no stupid question, but some people feel, oh, if I ask, maybe they'll think I'm dumb. Well, thinking you're dumb versus not getting the help and then getting bad grades, which one do you think is more dumb? So get the help you need, and yeah, is there for the taking.
Yes, sir.
So I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's see. I was gonna ask, actually, before I get to that, you kind of already gave some, but just in general, not even just specifically for grades, but just in school, and especially keep the freshmen in mind. Like, what advice do you have for high school students? Something, and you've done it 4 years. You're getting ready to graduate. You're a senior. You've excelled. What is maybe one or two things that you can offer to the younger kids?
I think it got to be, man. Don't be afraid to be different. A lot of people they see what's cool, what's in. You know what I mean? They think everyone's doing that, so I gotta go do it. But that's not true. I mean, for me, I stand for what I believe. Whatever that is, and so I think it's just that, not being afraid to not fit in. For me, I try my absolute best to not be a follower. Mm-hmm. What I think is right or what I believe, if I see someone else, not doing the best thing, I'm gonna do what's the right thing to do. And I don't say this to brag or anything, but I mean, I do that. I don't try to follow, and I mean, this year I won homecoming king, so I think they're like what I'm saying is
there's it's noble to go that route. Like people are only gonna respect it.
Exactly.
Maybe there's a few haters, but for someone doing the right thing, like you can't knock it. I'm sorry to cut you.
No, you're not cutting me off at all. You're good. Yeah, but what I'm saying is just like I say that to just say that I still fit in, I guess. You know what I mean? Even though I have teammates and stuff. Stuff like smoking. You know what I mean? Smoking has become so normalized. You know what I mean? And you'll be around people and hey, you want to hit. And for me, it's always been a no, but they respect that. Mm-hmm. And it's just how you do it. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I'm still friends with those guys. And you try to help them out. And but what I'm saying is like, you don't feel like, oh man, if I don't take this hit right now, I'm done. I got no buddies. Like, no, that's not how it works, man. There's always going to be someone out there like you know what I mean, that wants to be your friend. Yeah. So just for those incoming people, just stay true to yourself. I'd say, what you believe, stay true to yourself. Do what's right. You know what I mean? Don't go doing something that's wrong, that is wrong, that's not you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you know what's right, do what's right.
No, that's good. And I talk a lot about influence on the show, especially for you, especially for high school. Like, influence is huge. And just kind of going about things your own way and being able to say no to certain things and having that standard. That's awesome. Did you find as you were doing the right thing and sticking to being yourself, like, did people gravitate towards you? Like, did you have people looking to kind of follow you? Or even did you have others who were excelling and doing well that you're like, man, I got to be like them. Like, I got to hang out with this person.
Yeah, no, I feel, for both of my teams, for my wrestling squad and my football squad, I was considered a leader, right? Team captain, stuff like mm-hmm. that. And, there's definitely people that, I've been honored that they come up to me, they ask for advice, and they tell me, Roman, like, I really admire the way you roll, type of thing. And mm-hmm. And it humbles me for sure, you know what I mean? It's an honor to know that, I inspire others and, they want to go along that same path. And that's what I do. That's why I do what I do. And so, yeah, there's definitely been times where, especially the younger guys, they look up to me. And it makes me happy because they can choose to look up to the guys that are setting a bad influence, you know what I mean? But they come with me, and I've definitely had teammates that, I see the way they roll, and I honor it for sure, you know what I mean? Because I see it's not a hard thing to do. For the most part, in high school, everybody's doing the same thing. A lot of the same bad habits are reoccurring.
Yeah.
So it's tricky to stay on your own path.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely have respect for those that do it, and I have had fellas in the past, older teammates that do it, and I definitely follow them and commend to them.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So one, just great advice. Thank you, and I'm grateful. They were able to kind of learn about you a little bit and what you've done, what you're doing now. What's the next phase in your life? That graduation is knocking on the door.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And all this goes by so quick. I'm about to be 30. I'm not 30 yet, but in a year I'm gonna be 30. So I'm a testament. It goes quick. But what are you looking forward to? What's the next chapter after you graduate?
Yeah. The plan is to go to college. I'm looking at Sacramento State and San Jose State.
Nice.
I'm gonna study business administration. Okay. So yeah, I think for athletics it's the end for me. But I plan on still messing around in some leagues and stuff, and
yeah, we've talked about it.
Yeah, and definitely hitting the gym and fitness is gonna be important to me, and also we'll probably keep rolling around on the mats, maybe jiu-jitsu, I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah.
But I want to stay active for sure. But yeah, just going to study and definitely keep on going with that with my media business, right? Media by Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to keep on taking pictures, and that's something that's the reason I've chosen the colleges that I've chosen. You know what I mean? Division I sports.
Okay.
Can open doors over there. So I plan to take my camera with me and capture a lot of athletics and all that, because I think it's a way. I love sports, and I think it's a way I can stay in that path.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this whole season that I've been shooting sports, it's been awesome seeing all kinds of crazy games and crazy moments and capturing that. I mean, for me, I just think of me when I was an athlete. When somebody would say, "Hey, I got this nice picture of you," I'm excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I can do that for another athlete, it makes me happy. So yeah, considering, I definitely want to keep on doing that. Even if I'm not majoring in it, I want to keep on doing it on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
And even music as well. I'm considering that. But for sure, business administration and that media business, yeah, that's the plan.
No, that's great, and you did my job for me. That's what I was going to bring up next, is just kind of what you're doing. What got you into the photography, and I'll put it on the screen too, but Media by Rome, check out his Instagram if you need any type of athletic photos, or tell the people what exactly you do in totality, and what got you into it.
Yeah, so my media business, Media by Rome, started it up this past December, so we're fresh. Right now I'm focusing on sports photography and videography, but I'm starting to do portraits and things like that as well. And but yeah, man, I mean, my passion there, it's been there forever. I mean, I started when I was about 8-9 years old. My brother was playing soccer, and I'd be out there with my big old iPad recording, and I always say that, the athletes, the basketball players, they always come and ask me, "Hey, you edit mixtapes?" And I'm like, yeah. So now I edit mixtapes, but I always have that first mixtape of my brother, because I have a little video in my camera roll from like 2015 or something.
Wow.
And it's just him playing soccer, and it's always been a passion for me. And so I've always stuck with that. I bought my first camera when I was about 13 years old, and I loved videography, photography. I mean, I would tell my parents that as soon as I turned 18, my plan was to go to LA and do something out there.
Wow.
Make some movies.
I
but
didn't know that.
yeah, definitely it died down during COVID, and it picked back up my junior year last year, because I took a multimedia class. And it sparked it back up, and I was like, man, I love this, because I've always been a creative. I love to create, and I mean, I've made little small movies in the past and a whole bunch of little projects. I've always video edited. I've done many projects there. I've even when I was during my downtime, I'd edit for people and things like that. But I always felt that spark. I always wanted to do sports photography. I would see others do it, and I'd be like, man, I know I could do that. But I'd always be playing the sports.
Yeah.
And but during wrestling season, it was one of our opening tournaments. I'm wrestling for my third place match. I hurt my elbow mid-match, wrestled through it, win my match, win third place. But then my elbow's all banged up. My elbow's banged up. We're entering into the season, so my coach are like, it's early in the season. Let's not even risk it.
Mm-hmm.
We're we're benching you for a week basically. Get some rest. You know what I mean? I was icing.
Yeah.
And it was just we had two dual meets I believe that week, and just preseason stuff. So no biggie. But I had to go anyway because I always love supporting my team.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take my camera. Let's do it. And I had it sparked in me actually because I was talking to my lineman coach, Coach Evans. Shout out Coach Evans. And he was like, Roman, you never thought about taking pictures like in the wrestling tournaments? You know, there's a lot of downtime. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's so true. Like you go to wrestling tournaments, you wrestle for 6 minutes and then you wait there for an hour just sitting there for your next match. And I'm like, that's a great idea. And but yeah, that injury is what got me started. And I took some pictures of my teammates and I threw them up there. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start it up. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it at first was just going to different events, taking pictures, and I'd go up to the players and be like, hey man, you know, I got these pictures of you. Follow me on Instagram and I'll send them over. And that's how it started. I had a couple reels go kind of semi-viral, a couple thousand views, some good likes, you know what I mean? I think one of them had like 10,000 likes or something. And
wow.
That helped me get my following going, which around here it's just, you know, a kid's looking at your page, they need some following to respect. Like, for some respect, I would say. That's just how the youth works, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't agree with it, because there's some guys that have great work, might not have the most followers, but they have some great work. But I think that follower aspect definitely has a little bit to do with it. So, honestly, those reels picking up and getting a couple, you know, helping me gain a couple followers definitely helped the look. You know, like it made it look like I had a little bit more experience, which I always say, I feel like I've had the experience, because really I've had a camera in my hands for the past, you know, 5-7 years, you know what I mean? I just never went out about it. So I did just start sports photography like in December, but I already knew how to work a camera. I knew I took multiple media classes and stuff. But it's just Media by Rome, my little business. It's funny now because I go to wrestling tournaments. Hey, you're Media by Rome, right? I'm like, yeah, but it's funny. Or my teammates are always messing around with me about it. Media by Rome, Media by Rome. And I'm like, I'm a wrestler right now, guys. And I'm trying to switch modes. But now I love my teammates and everything. But so it's been a great journey. I've been incredibly blessed because it for everybody, it doesn't pick up that quick. You know, I've been blessed with work, with good clients. All my athletes have been great, super nice. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I love it. You know, it takes a lot of time, but I love it. It helps me stay in the sports world and just creating. I love creating. So yeah.
Nah, that's dope. And I every time I see the videos and stuff, it excites me. And I know it's only the ball's gonna keep rolling.
Yes, sir.
I like to say WWW stands for work while you work. Work while work. Work while working. There we go. Yeah. Especially in this day and age, in this social media generation, there's so many opportunities out there, and there's so many ways. It's not all about money, but there's so many ways to do what you enjoy and, you know, make it profitable as well.
Yes, sir.
And people, there's in just a typical job or even athletics, for example, like there's so much downtime that we don't even realize. And we might spend the time scrolling like we talked about, where instead you can be at a wrestling tournament where you're working, you're you know, participating, but in that downtime, in that hour of downtime, there's an opportunity to continue to work and grind.
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna begin to wrap this thing up. This is really important to both of us, and this is what excites me more than anything, is just to see how passionate you are about your faith. And I know your parents, who are awesome, they have a lot to do with that. Your church is right around the corner, which is really cool. But just talk about your faith and what that means to you.
Yeah. I mean, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has always been really close to me. You know what I mean? It's I owe everything to my Lord. And I grew up in church, but I started playing for our Christian church around the corner, Christian Worship Center, right? That's CWC Life, and I've been blessed with that church. You know, great community, and I started playing there, playing drums on their worship team. I was about, I want to say, 12 years old.
Wow.
11 years old, around there, because we've been going there for about 7-8 years now. And I mean, playing there, it's playing worship music is a whole different thing. It's a whole different deal. I love doing it. I've always been incredibly blessed. So to me, it's like, you know, just a little way to thank God for all the blessings, you know, He rains down on us. And yeah, I've always kept faith. Faith has always been a staple in my life.
Mm-hmm.
From athletics to school, to everything. I like to say Jesus is my best friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going to getting ready for a test. I pray before that test.
Yeah.
Every match I pray before my match. You know what I mean? I always try to spread the gospel. You know what I mean? I try to pray for my team before we go into battle. Wrestling, football. I like before every football game. I'd like to get my guys, round them up, and pray for them. And luckily, I've always had guys that support it,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's been respectful towards it.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me happy when somebody comes up and, hey Roman, thank you for your prayer. It really helps me out, and it makes me it brightens me up. You know what I mean? Because they preach it at my church a lot. It's they tell us that we're the light. And it's true, we just got to go and spread the word, spread the gospel. And it's very true. They say people see Jesus in you.
Mm-hmm.
They see how you act.
Absolutely.
You call yourself a Christian, but then you're acting like this, you're acting like that. And like I said, we come back to nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? We all slip up. But and I'll be the first to say it. I slip up. But my goal is, people to see the way I live and they think, you know what, I want to live like Roman. I want to get closer to God. And so, yeah, faith has been a staple in my life. And I owe everything I have to God. I wouldn't be where I am right now without Jesus Christ. So, yeah.
That's amazing. I think one thing this kind of generation lacks is prayer. And so it's really cool to see that you're so involved in doing that with your team, for example. I know, I'm blanking on his name, but he goes to my church. He goes to your school. Aiden. His dad and I are friends, and he had posted that his friend, I don't know if you're involved with this, but his son does like a prayer group or before school.
Yeah.
Are you part of that? I meant to ask you.
I'm not gonna take no credit for it. He does his thing, but I have popped out a couple of times, and what he's doing is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember he started around football season, so and I have a 0 period, so I can't go in the mornings.
Yeah.
But what he's doing is awesome out there, and that kid, I gotta respect him, man. He's always spreading the word, and he's actually has his own photography thing going on too. So it was good to see him. We're always talking, and he's a great kid. But something I am a part of is FCA. So we have our FCA club at school, and I recently became a leader there, and that's awesome too, man. It's just a little club. We meet once a month. It's ran by Trevor Bloom. He used to play at San Jose State, and he runs it here in our county, and we meet once a month. We have a speaker there, and it's great to see kids that are truly, they're seeking God.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And I remember I popped out a couple times, and I finally asked Trevor, I want to be a leader. I want to be a part of this. And I did a little course, and he got me in there, and now I'm a leader there. So that's something we do. And actually I have my little shirt on, FCA.
Oh, there we go. Let's see it.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Chest is looking nice and big. You've been hitting your push-ups too.
Yeah, you know it. So that's something I do at school. Yeah.
That's incredible, and like I was saying, this is especially I see it in these younger kids, and even young adults, like so much anxiety and fear and like. Having God and being able to pray is so just comforting, and it brings such peace that hopefully in doing things like you're doing with the FCA and praying for your team and your teammates, like it's only gonna create more opportunities for prayer. So that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think when I was joining the FCA, I remember when I was getting when they were trying to put me on the leadership squad. One of the questions they asked was that, like why do you want to be in here? And for me, it was, I just see how broken our youth is. I think a lot of it is not even their fault. It's just they don't know any better. So that's when I think it's our job to show them that there's another way. That short-term satisfaction. It goes like this. You know what I mean? The lust. The drugs, the drinking, the partying, it's all short term. There's only one way to, get that long-term love, that long-term peace, and it's through God.
Yes, sir.
So I made it a goal to try to spread that and make it known. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't blame the kids a lot of the times because I see the way they live. I see what they're around.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just it's our job, those that are saved and those that have God in their life, to continue to spread the word and help those youngsters out.
Yep. Most definitely. Cool. And in some ways, you answered my. We'll do some fun fact questions in a sec. But my last question was, like, what do you love and what do you dislike about just the high school environment in general? The kids, how they, some of their behaviors. So if you can just go into a little bit more detail, or if you have anything to add on that.
We'll start with the loves. Let's see. It's not, you can't say something too much with everybody because, there's a majority, a lot of the people, I like, there's always laughs, that's cool.
Oh, yeah.
People, they're funny in different ways, but, I love that there's always laughs.
Yeah. Real quick, just to add on that, one of my guests, Pastor Dylan, who we were talking about earlier that episode, but that's one thing he mentioned, because he works with the kids.
Yeah.
Younger kids for the most part, but that he's noticed that this generation is a lot more like close, and there's that closeness, and they can laugh and joke, whereas I'm not going to say like before, my generation, it wasn't like that, but I even see that myself as a high school teacher, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. For the dislikes, I'll see if more loves come to my head. But
yeah.
For the dislikes, I think people are a little too judgmental, man. Like, a lot of people, they're quick to judge.
Yeah.
You see someone over there doing something, and you're quick to judge, but you don't know that person's backstory.
Yeah.
They always say, don't treat someone mean. You don't know what they're, or like, they always say, someone's mean to you, and everyone's always quick to snap back. You this, you that, but sometimes you gotta give those people a break. Yeah, should you be the one receiving them being mean? Probably not. You don't deserve it. But if you can take it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You should probably think about that. What are they dealing with at home? Why are they like that? Why are they angry? There's a lot of people I see, and I just like, I see that anger in them, and I see the way they act, and forget the way they act. I think about them. I say, man, I truly feel bad for them. Mm-hmm. I know I'm gonna pray for them, because I see that, it's not even them. It's just they have this anger in them, and I think a lot of the times it's just what they have around them and their environment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing I don't like. I don't like that people are quick to judge.
Yeah. And you're speaking to myself too, as a grown man, as a teacher, as a coach. I often have a short leash, and not in terms of maybe someone being rude to me or mean to me. Like, I'm pretty forgiving, but just in terms of kids failing or not trying to reach their full potential, especially when it comes to football, like kids not showing up to practice and giving excuses and not, like, that really, really bothers me.
Yeah.
But I've learned, especially this year, kids go through some really, really intense stuff that we're never going to see or know about on the surface. And, I have kids who parents are drug addicts, drug dealers, prostitutes, like some crazy stuff. And it's like, man, sometimes I got to check myself, and it's like, all right, I got to give them a break. Mm-hmm. So yeah, for you kids, you students, like, okay, if someone mugged you, who cares? Maybe they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
You've probably done it before too. Or if they ignored you saying hi, or maybe gave you a funny look or attitude, like, who knows? They could be going through some serious stuff, personally, or even with their family, sick family members, and you snapping or retaliating is only gonna make it worse. So that's good.
Yeah. And something else I don't like is, I think there's too much followers in this world, man. We need some more leaders.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, they're just, like I said, they want to be like everybody else, and they want to fit in. But I just don't. I think we need some more people just taking charge and just leading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of my football players, he was cutting class, and I kind of called him out about it. He was like, "Yeah, coach, but my grades are good." And then a couple days later, I seen him, and it was actually his period. He wasn't cutting, but he was in class, and he was like, "Coach, are we gonna run a lot during the season? Cause we got so many guys cutting class." And my thoughts and kind of what I voiced out to him was like, "Dude, you said you're a good student. The cutting, that was maybe a one-off. You have good grades. Like, what are you doing about it? Why aren't you trying to point these guys in the right direction or putting them under your wing and lead them, like you said?" So definitely opportunities for that. Sure. So anybody out there that's doing the right things, like embrace being a leader and don't be afraid to kind of steer other people in the right direction as well. So cool. Anything else on that?
That's about it for that, man. I just think we need to love a little more.
Yeah.
I feel like we like that as high schoolers, you know. Everybody.
Okay.
Some people are they're just mean, man. Let's just be nice to each other. Let's love. You know, the Bible says to love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's love.
Mm-hmm. It's the greatest commandment. Greatest two commandments.
Yes,
love
sir.
God and love others.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, great job, my man. Really great just depth to everything you were speaking about, and good thought-provoking stuff. So I appreciate it. We'll finish with a little bit of fun. I like to do something fun, whether it's fun facts or a game with all my guests. So I'm gonna just hit you with some questions, just some fun facts about Roman. Everyone kind of get to know him. When you reach out to Media by Rome, you DM him, you'll know what you're kind of dealing with and getting into. A couple are school related, student related, just popular stuff, or just kind of random. So, sure. First one, what is, two parts, what's your favorite subject in school and what's been your least favorite in these 4 years?
Favorite subject, probably math.
Math, okay.
Even though, like I said, I struggled in it my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
But math is fun, man. Math is, it takes a lot to learn. Yep. But I think once you get a hang of it, it's interesting. Mm-hmm. It's been a little boring this year, but in the past years, it's usually pretty fun. So I think math's my favorite, yeah.
Okay, is there a specific math you really liked, or just in general?
Geometry's cool. Shapes.
Okay.
Shapes yeah. But yeah, most maths are fun, yeah.
Yeah, and I was always a math guy myself up until like pre-calc. Pre-calc, I was like, man, this ain't for me. But like algebra, I really enjoy algebra. Yeah. I enjoy teaching algebra, and geometry's pretty cool too. Once it got towards like the end of the semester and like it began to get a little more challenging. Some of the stuff was confusing, but in general, I liked geometry as well. All right. Is there something that you're nervous about after graduation, like going to college, like specifically?
I mean, there's always that nerve, I'm most likely going to leave home. Mm-hmm. So, just really having to grow up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think I'm confident in myself and know I'll get it done. But, of course, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'd probably say that.
Okay. And you're really close with your family.
Yeah, me and my family, we're always super close. So,
yeah.
We've always, none of my older siblings have went to college or nothing. So, we never had someone really leave like that.
Okay.
But, I want to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
In a good way, not a bad way. No, I want to be the one to leave.
Yeah.
I want to be the one to go and, hopefully, get my degree. And, so that's a little nerve-wracking, but I know we'll stay tight.
Yeah. So similarly, I was the first in my family to go to school. Shout out Chrissy, my sister. She's in school right now. She's in college. But I was a little bit nervous about that, especially when I committed to Rutgers all the way in New Jersey.
I bet, yeah.
So hopefully San Jose State and Sac State just a drive away. Yep. So, but it's going to present its challenges, and you're still away and isolated in a way. So yeah, for sure, that could be tough, but I know you'll handle it well. Let's see. Next question: what is your favorite food?
My favorite food has always been pizza.
Really?
Simple.
Okay.
I love pizza. But, when I was trying to eat right, pizza wasn't completely the right thing. So sometimes I just like some, some chicken and some easy carbs, some rice. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I've learned to like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making it different every time helps.
Yeah.
But I remember I would always find, like, when I was trying to lose weight, I could always, like, we'd go to the taco truck and I'd just get a plate of meat and rice, you know what I mean? Or we'd get burgers, and I'd always find an alternative. When it came to pizza, man, it was hard.
There's one way to eat pizza. You just gotta, you gotta eat it.
It was hard to do that one. So pizza's always been my favorite. I think it probably still has the title.
What's your favorite like toppings, or what's your go-to?
Pepperoni, the classic, but pineapple has grown on me a little bit.
Pineapple's smacking. Yeah. That's my thing.
And I need my ranch. I need my ranch with my pizza. I love my ranch.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a pizza though.
Good stuff. I'm surprised you didn't go with Mexican food. You're Mexican. That's like my favorite.
Oh yeah,
so, tacos, burritos, everything.
Yeah, I love that too. Trust me, I've been getting down on some Mexican food too.
I got you. All right, talking snacks here. We have Takis and we have hot Cheetos. What's your preference, if either?
I'm not too much of a chip guy, believe it or not. Like the last time I smacked down like a big old bag of Takis or a big old bag of hot Cheetos was probably when I was that 180-pound freshman.
Okay.
Yeah, straight chub. But I would like to grab a few Takis probably though. If someone has a bag of Takis and a bag of hot Cheetos and I want to grab a few, probably be Takis. Yeah.
Okay. I'm more of a Cheeto guy.
Yeah.
Myself. Flaming hot. Or I like the flaming hot Doritos too.
Oh, those are good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Favorite thing to do in your free time?
Right now, probably hang out with my beautiful girlfriend, Mia. Yeah.
Okay. Shout out Mia.
Yeah, love her for being super supportive because, free time, I always have her with me. There's times I'll be editing right there and she's there with me or, start hitting the gym together and stuff. So that should be fun. But, when I have a little free time, I love to go hang out with her, do something fun, you know what I mean? Go to the movies. We love trying new foods, grabbing a bite. So, yeah, probably hanging out with my girlfriend, yeah.
Cool. All right. Next one, greatest role model or someone you look up to.
Got to be my pops, man. I always say my dad's the wisest man I know, and he's just somebody who's always supported me no matter what. And he sets a great example. I love the way he is, the way he treats others. He's always helping somebody, he's never greedy or nothing. He's always trying to bless somebody and help somebody.
Yep.
And he's always has helped me. And yeah, it's my guy. My dad is my idol, my role model. My pops, yep.
Yeah. It's been a real pleasure for me getting to know your parents, and they're just stand-up people, and especially your dad being the leader, like it just trickles down from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dogs or cats?
Dogs. I love dogs, man. Dogs are the best.
You guys have a dog?
We do.
Okay.
Buddy, he's a German Shepherd. Yeah, he's a fun little guy. Cats, they're a little interesting, man. I don't know. They're cool sometimes, but if I have to choose, I'm getting a dog.
Okay. I hated cats growing up, and I've always loved dogs. But we adopted some cats. Like, the mom was pregnant in our backyard.
Really?
We could feed her, and she had the kittens, and we kept the kittens. So, over the years, I've become a cat person.
Oh, really? Over dogs?
Over dogs.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I still enjoy dogs. They're obviously more fun and more active, which is cool. But, yeah, I like cats, too.
That's good.
All right. Texting or FaceTime? Which do you do more or prefer?
I probably text a little more just because it's quick, but I like FaceTiming, man. A lot of times, with the people that are close to me, instead of texting them, I'd rather just give them a call, see what they're up to, see their face a little bit, see each other laugh. So, yeah, probably FaceTime, man, yeah.
Cool. What about Instagram, or I still haven't made one myself. I'm debating it. I don't think so. But TikTok.
So, fun fact about me, I actually cut TikTok off completely probably like a year ago.
Okay.
So, just because I just caught myself scrolling on it too much.
Yeah.
And Instagram.
Discipline.
I even cut off Instagram for a while, but downloaded it again when I started my Medium page. So, I had Instagram down for a while too. But yeah, Instagram, I like it. My reels are usually, they have a good feed. They're usually motivational stuff. I'll go on my phone and it's telling me, get off your phone. Yeah, so it was pretty cool, seeing all kinds of stuff like that. And I kind of run my media page on there, so seeing other creators do their thing and, running my business on there is fun. So yeah, Instagram over TikTok.
All right, last one here. So they have it was kind of viral. Would you, and I forget the amount of money, but would you rather have X amount of money or dinner with Jay-Z? And I'm not a Jay-Z guy. I don't like him. But, so I'm taking the money easy. I know he's wise and business in terms of business and, rap and all that. He's highly successful. But just for you, your favorite celebrity or having dinner with them and spending the day with them or $5,000?
I think I'd probably say the celebrity, but I don't think it'd be more of a celebrity. It'd probably be someone, like you said, maybe someone that's doing well, a mentor or somebody like that.
Do you have someone in mind?
David Goggins, man.
Goggins, okay.
Goggins, he probably rip on me. Hey, do this, do that. But, I mean, that guy has a cool bunch of knowledge, nice little dinner. Sure, I get some good advice from that guy. So
yeah.
And he'd probably help me make those 5,000 like that. So,
true, good point. If you would have said me, I would advise you to take the money. We'll split the money, and then we'll just kick it anyway.
There you go.
But that's all I got. Again, thanks so much for your time. I really enjoyed this. Reminder: you were my first linebacker that I trained one-on-one. And now you're my first student to be on my podcast.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. I'm looking forward to having more students on the show, but wanted to start it off with a true young role model and a young man with his head on his shoulders right and just doing all the right things. So much love for you, Roman.
Thank you, Coach. That's a lot.
2 quick side notes. Roman's not a short guy. My chair's just a little higher. I noticed that midway. Dang, I should have. Yeah, there we go. And also his hair. Your hair's not normally like that, right?
Nah, I'm not this crazy, man. For wrestling, Masters qualifiers.
There you go.
Half blonde, half black. You guys are actually the last ones getting a look at it because I'm about to diet tonight. So get a good look at it. It's going to be gone soon. I'm not that crazy. I like it. Yeah, it's a little too crazy for me, you know what I mean? But, yeah.
All right, well, y'all got a treat, so enjoy the hair.
There it is.
Next time you see him, it won't be there. So.
Nope.
But good stuff. I'm going to close this out with a little prayer.
Let's do it.
And, take care. All right. Father God, I thank you so much for this time, for blessing me with this relationship with Roman, just all the blessings you've given him and him taking advantage of those opportunities and those blessings and just doing all the right things. Continue to just guide him, help him to always put you first as he's doing, and just continue to influence others through his just personality, his faith in you, and all the things he has going on. Continue to prepare him for college and just all the great things he's going to do. Bless his family. Bless all the people at his school who come encounter with him, that they'll get a taste of who you are through him. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, y'all. Peace out. Take care. All right.